It began on a night so cold, the world itself held its breath. December 1968. A parked car, a silent road, two young hearts, and something watching from the dark. No warning, no mercy, only the sound of gunfire and silence. He left no name, no fingerprints, only riddles, carved in fear, letters coded in madness, symbols drawn in blood, a game, and we were the pieces. 5 confirmed dead, 37 claimed, and not a single name to hold, just fear, scattered across California like ashes in the wind. Who was the Zodiac, and why? Did no one stop him? This is True Stories, and tonight, we descend into a nightmare of mystery. December 20th, 1968, the Friday before Christmas. The air in Berryessa, California was bitter cold. Frost painted the edges of the lonely Lake Herman Road, where silence hung heavy in the dark countryside. That evening, 16-year-old Betty Lou Jensen and 17-year-old David Faraday were going on their very first date. Betty was quiet, gentle, loved dancing, and dreamed of becoming an artist. David was a bright science student. He wanted to study physics at college. He'd borrowed his mother's Rambler station wagon to take Betty out for a simple evening. After dinner with friends, they drove to a secluded turnout off Lake Herman Road, a place known locally as Lover's Lane. The gravel under their tires crunched softly as they parked at 10:15 p.m. The area was pitch black, no streetlights, just the moonlight, the cold wind, and the vast silence of winter. Somewhere, in the shadows, someone was watching them. Around 11:15 p.m., roughly 1 hour later, a second vehicle slowly pulled into the turnout. Its headlights cut through the darkness, directly facing David's car. Then, the lights turned off. Moments later, a man stepped out. He didn't shout. He didn't threaten. He didn't speak. A single word. He was holding a .22 caliber pistol. Without warning, the stranger shot David in the head. At the point-blank range. Betty tried to run. She made it 28 feet from the car before 8 bullets pierced her back. She fell face down into the cold gravel. Her life ended before help could ever arrive. When police found them, David was still alive, but barely breathing. He died before reaching the hospital. Betty was already gone. There were no witnesses, no tire marks, no fingerprints. The killer didn't take anything. There was no sign of motive, no message, no pattern. Only 2 young lives, lost in the cold, and a question written in blood. Why? This would become the first confirmed murder of a man who would later call himself the Zodiac. But the silence didn't last long. Just 6 months after Lake Herman Road, he returned. July 4th, 1969. Independence Day. Vallejo, California. As fireworks lit up the night sky, a different kind of spark was quietly building in the shadows. Darlene Ferrin, 22, vibrant, adventurous. A young mother sat in her car at Blue Rock Springs Park. Beside her was Michael Majot, 19, shy but bold, a young man drawn to her warmth. They talked, they laughed, unaware that danger was already watching. Just past midnight, headlights approached. A car pulled in behind them. The figure inside waited, then drove away. Moments later, it returned, slowly, deliberately. This time it stopped. A man stepped out without a word. He raised his weapon and opened fire. Bullets shattered the night at the windows, their silence. Darlene was hit 5 times. She died before help could arrive. Michael was shot 4 times, but he survived. Minutes later, The killer called the police himself, his voice calm, cold, mocking. "I killed 2 people, and that one last year." He gave no name, no reason, just the echo of violence in his words. Michael survived. Barely. He would later describe the man, a white male, heavy-set, average height, but that was all they had. No prints, no motive, just a new body count, and the haunting realization the Zodiac had returned. But the fear didn't fade. Just weeks after the Blue Rock Springs attack, he changed the game. This time, he wrote, July 31st, 1969. 3 letters arrived at 3 different newspapers: the Vallejo Times-Herald, the San Francisco Chronicle, the San Francisco Examiner. Each envelope contained a piece of a strange cipher, 408 symbols, no name, no fingerprints, just a demand. "You must print this in your paper, or I will go on a kill rampage." At first, they thought it was a hoax, a prank, a sick joke. But this cipher wasn't random. It was handcrafted, lines of strange shapes, symbols, like something from another world. No spaces, no punctuation. A puzzle designed to taunt. And somehow, without computers, 2 ordinary people cracked it. Their names, Donald and Betty Harden. And what they uncovered was horrifying. I like killing people because it is so much fun. It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest. Man is the most dangerous animal of all. When I die, I will be reborn in paradise, and all the people I have killed will become my slaves. There was no name, no real identity, no clue where he'd strike next. Just a message, cold, calculated, and proud. The Zodiac had a voice, and now he wanted the world to listen. But the killings didn't stop. Not after the cipher, not after the phone calls, not even after the press listened. He wasn't done. He was only beginning. September 27th, 1969. Lake Berryessa, broad daylight. 2 college students. Cecilia Shepard, 22, a joyful music student. Bright, warm, full of life. Brian Hartnell, 20, a law student. Religious, thoughtful, calm. They were sitting by the water, talking, laughing, reading. It was peaceful. Until he arrived, a man, dressed in black, wearing a black hood, like an executioner's mask. His face was completely hidden. On his chest, the Zodiac's crosshair symbol, drawn in white, bold, unmistakable. He held a gun. He claimed he was an escaped convict, said he needed money and a car. He lied. He pulled out rope, pre-cut. He tied their wrists, their ankles, calm, controlled. Then he stabbed Brian, once, twice, 6 times, deep, precise. Then he turned to Cecilia and stabbed her 24 times. No rage, no noise, just cold violence. Then he stood, walked calmly to Brian's car, took out a marker, and wrote, Vallejo, 12/20/68, 7/40/69, September 27, 69, 6:30. By knife, a giant crosshair, his signature. Later, he made another phone call, calm, emotionless. I just killed 2 people. Click. Brian survived, miraculously. He crawled for help. He lived. Cecilia didn't. She died 2 days later. And the mask, the symbol, the voice, they became one thing: Zodiac. But the horror kept moving. From lakes and lovers to the streets of the city, no one was safe anymore. October 11th, 1969, San Francisco, a city alive and unaware. Night. Paul Stein, 29, a cab driver, working hard, providing, just doing his job. until it wasn't a job anymore. He picked up a passenger. Routine, unremarkable, one last ride, just a few blocks. Then, one shot to the head, no warning, no struggle, instant, cold, calculated. The killer didn't run. He wiped the blood, tore Paul's shirt, took a piece with him, like a souvenir. Later, he sent it to the police, wrapped in a letter. "I am the killer," signed in blood. Kids saw him, teenagers, from a window. They called the cops. They described everything. Police arrived, minutes later, and let him walk away. They were told to look for a black man, but the killer was white. Wrong description, wrong suspect, right man, gone, and San Francisco stood still. The city froze. People locked their doors. Parents kept their kids home. Even the bold felt hunted. The Zodiac wasn't hiding anymore. He was walking among them, watching, smiling, hunting, whenever he wanted. But the puzzles weren't over. New symbols, new secrets, new mockery. November 8th, 1969. Another letter, another cipher. 340 strange symbols, twisting, endless, maddening. It wasn't like the first. It was more complex, more brutal. A labyrinth, not a message. Experts tried, cryptologists, police, mathematicians. Year after year, nothing. It became a legend, an impossible riddle, a ghost whispering from the past. And then, 51 years later, in 2020, they cracked it. Not by hand, not by intuition, but with machines, software, patience beyond decades. The message? I hope you are having lots of fun and trying to catch me. That wasn't me on the TV show, which brings up a point about me. I am not afraid of the gas chamber, because it will send me to paradise all the sooner. Because I now have enough slaves to work for me, where everyone else has nothing when they reach paradise. So they are afraid of death. I am not afraid, because I know that my new life will be an easy one. In paradise death. No name, no apology, no regret, only laughter across time. The challenge never ended. The Zodiac still speaks, still waits, still wins. But the mystery was far from over. New theories, new victims, new doubts, other possible crimes began to surface. A couple murdered. 1963. A young woman, Sherry Jo Bates. 1966. Two friends, Donna Lass and Kathleen Johns. 1970. Authorities wondered, did the Zodiac ever stop killing? Or did he simply fade into the shadows? One man stood out, Arthur Lee Allen. He fit the profile. He had the means, the rage, the connection. But he died without ever being charged. And the DNA? It didn't match. The case stayed open. The trail grew colder. But the questions never died. The Zodiac Killer, a mystery still breathing. Murders unanswered, ciphers unsolved. A shadow that may still walk among us. Who was he? Where did he vanish? Or did he ever truly leave? Share your theories in the comments. Subscribe for more chilling dossiers from Crimson Dossier. Until next time, if time allows it.